Radio 4RPH is a community radio station in Brisbane, Queensland. It is a member of the Radio Print Handicapped Network. The station is mainly run by volunteers.
I am a board director, I am a panellist, I am a production person, I am a scheduler, and I'm everything else that comes in between all that, including going to meetings, which I was doing this morning before I ended up in here this afternoon.
I've got a lot of software on your computer that makes it easy for vision impaired people to do whatever you need to do at a radio station. So can you talk us through it?
Certainly do. I've got a JAWS. The JAWS software will read everything on the computer. I can go to 4rph.org.au.
Does it take some getting used to listening to that?
It does.
You talk so fast.
What have we got?
Oh my god. What are you finding?
Poetic Reflections is on now. On next, short story.
Yeah, so a lot of the implementations that we take is always in the consideration of our vision impaired and blind volunteers and staff. So any changes that we make to any kind of technology has to be able to work with systems that they know, whether it be Braille labeling on certain things, but of course not all vision impaired people know how to read Braille, so we also have to include large print lettering, or we also have screen reading software that that can be set to any speed of listening, so that they can understand what the screen is showing. So on top of that, it's also about having instruments that have a lot of tactile buttons and have a lot of actual physical knobs and switches, as opposed to a lot of the digital platforms. So we have to make sure that things have physical press downs for on-air, things for cue, that the VU meters on our consoles actually have a physical needle, so that if the volume is too high you can actually hear the click, and things like that, just so that a lot of the audio cues that the vision impaired and blind people have are there, so that they can do their job effectively.
Okay, I'm Steve Sparrow.
Hi Steve.
How are you going?
Good. Tell us about your software and the computers and stuff you're using.
Yeah, well, we've got a program here that we use for a lot of our production called Studio Recorder, and it's actually quite a good two-track editor, which is good for editing things that, well, as its name suggests, like two tracks, which is left and right channels, which is the same sort of files that you would see on a CD or MP3 type file. And it's a program that was originally invented for the recording of talking books and things like that. So it's got quite a few quite interesting little features. It enables you to get to the beginning and end of a sentence and a paragraph very quickly. So it's really good for voice work.
So one of the questions I've had with people who have vision impairments that I've worked with is, how do you keep track of the levels? Is you entirely by your ears?
It's generally by the ears, but this desk has a set of needles, and if you do turn them up high, I think they're there, they click.
So you can hear them clicking.
Hear them clicking.
You must have amazing hearing.
You get used to it, you use it.
And what's the software on the computer there?
That is Day Player, that's our Day Player. So,
right.
So
that's playing what we're listening to now?
It's playing what we're listening to now, and if you press escape it will stop it, as I found out one day.
Okay.
Very quickly.
And so you're still using the old cart machines?
Cart machines.
Look at that, people. You have. What do you have recommendation to other stations trying to make their technology more adaptive?
It may seem like it's a mountain that you have to climb, but at the same time, it's so worth it. You'll never have more dedicated, more adaptive, more interesting people at your place than if you open it up to a diverse people. Even if you can, you're talking about people that you would say have a disability, they just bring such presence to the station and such a charm and charisma and new windows and new opportunities you wouldn't have before, and understanding that it makes sense to do it, to include everyone as much as humanly possible. So put in your ramps, put in anything you need to do, get your Braille systems, your JAWS systems, and try to give people a go, because that's what we do in community broadcasting, is give everyone a chance to have access to the spectrum. So get out there and do it.